Okay, do you guys know the song Beautiful Soul by Jesse McCartney? The one that's like... Because I freaking love that song. But more on that later. So things at internship have been pretty slow lately. It's spring break, so it's a lot of just partying stuff and not a lot of shows. So I thought for this week I would throw it back to a few weekends ago when I went up to Orlando to see a show that I wanted to go to. So I went up to Orlando to see Honey Revenge with Meet Me at the Altar at the Say It to My Face tour. And this was actually my, I want to say it was my 6th Honey Revenge show, which they've only been touring for about a year now, or it'll be like a year in April. And that many times is kind of impressive. The show was in Orlando and I live in Miami, so it's about a 3.5 hour drive, and one of my friends was driving down from South Carolina at the same time, so we'd kind of just meet in the middle right in Orlando. We'd originally planned to try and be up in Orlando at the hotel, kind of do things around there at 11 o'clock, so here I am, leaving my house at, I think it was 8 a.m. I had my little dinosaur guy strapped in the front seat. We're ready to go. I live right next to the highway, so I get on the turnpike and I start driving. Obviously, life had other plans for me this day because about 30, not even 30 minutes into the Florida Turnpike, my freaking tire explodes in the middle lane going 70 miles per hour. So obviously I pull off of the turnpike. Somehow I didn't hit anybody or anything, even though that happened. And so I pull off, and obviously the first thing I do is call my mom. And I'm like, what do I do? What is happening? So she's like, okay, I'll be there. Call the road ranger assistants, whatever, the free people who come. And I'm like, hey, I'm traveling by myself. I don't know how to change a tire. Can somebody help me put on the spare so I can go get a new tire? So I'm just sitting here in my car on the side of the turnpike with all of the lights on the dashboard going off. I'm freaking out internally, but it's still early, so I'm okay. And then my mom gets there, and then we're both kind of just waiting to see if anybody comes to help. And after an hour and a half, none of the Florida Turnpike road rangers show up. So I'm like, you know what? Frick this. So I put on a YouTube tutorial, I get out of the car, and I take the spare out of the back, and I start putting it on with a YouTube tutorial and my sister on the phone. I had no clue what I was doing, but between the YouTube tutorial and my sister for guidance, I changed and put the spare on my car while my mother stood there and filmed absolutely everything. So eventually, spare's on, we go to a place, they're like, hey, we're super busy, so we go to another one, and they're like, hey, come right now, we got you, we'll get you to Orlando. So we go there, here's me trying not to have a breakdown in the bathroom, and the guy is super sweet, he's getting everything kind of handled, we're getting the tires, everything's going good, but it's going to be a little bit, so obviously what do? We go to Taco Bell. Because when they say be back in an hour, where else would we go? So after we got back to the tire place after getting lunch, the guy was like, oh, by the way, your rim is bent. We can't put the tire on anymore. So it's going to be another half hour or so. We have to go get the rim, replace it, put the tires on and everything. And I'm just there like, oh my gosh, I'm never going to make it to this show. Fortunately for me, my mother drives the same exact car. So she's like, hey, take my rim, give it to her, get her on her way, and then I'll sit here and wait for the rim. And eventually that worked. So my car is finally ready to go. It's probably been like 3 hours at this point. It's like 2 o'clock. So I get in my car and I book it. I book it the last 3 hours up to Orlando, and I finally make it to the hotel around 5 o'clock. I got dressed so fast and we ran out of the hotel. I did my makeup in the car and we made it to the venue just in time to play Hair Salon with the band. We finally got into the venue. Our entire friend group is acting a fool in the front of the pit because what else do we do? You know, you're at a show to have fun. We're gonna act like idiots. And then Beautiful Soul by Jesse McCartney comes on, and we become the most unsufferable group of people. And we love it, and the main band, Meet Me at the Altar, was literally posting us on their Instagram story being like, what are you guys doing? And I'm kind of proud of that. Honey Revenge absolutely kills it, as always. I love seeing them every single time. They put on such a good show. But they have one song, Murphy's Law, which if you know what Murphy's Law is, you can guess why that song represented my day perfectly. But there is a part in the song where she says this. So if you didn't catch that there, when she says tires blown, my friend M behind me taps me. She's like, you, she's talking about you. And I was like, after the whole day, that was literally the funniest thing to me. And it's okay, I got her back. I made her scream ka-chow in a room of a bunch of children at Lightning McQueen's Racing Academy the next day. Ka-chow! That was pretty much it for the night. The show was amazing, all the performers were great, and I got to see a bunch of my friends who I don't get to see enough, and they're all very wonderful, very kind, and I love them so much. It's always great to get back to remembering why I love live music in the first place, the events that made me fall in love with it, and it makes me feel really special that now I get to, help others make that experience in the venue setting. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed coming along on this crazy day with me. Leave a comment down below and let me know what's your favorite concert you've ever been to. Make sure you subscribe and you hit that little bell icon so you don't miss the next time I upload, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye!